Und damit hallo, hallo, hallo und herzlich willkommen zu einem neuen Video von mir hier und zum Presentation Deep Dive. Wir gucken uns erst den Video, den Trailer in voller Länge an, geht um die 7,5 Minuten und danach gucken wir mal, was wir daraus ablesen können und ein bisschen, ich übersetze euch das Ganze mal. Los geht's, viel Spaß.
How's it going, guys? I'm Tactics HD and this is the Presentation Deep Dive for NHL 24. If you guys have never heard of me, I'm making NHL content on YouTube for over 10 years now, and last month I got to sit down with the lead presentation producer at NHL, David Pritchett, where we talked about all the new features and changes to the upcoming game. Now, my first question was about the new Hype Moments feature and how it makes all the arenas in-game come alive.
We've really kind of expanded out what we call, at least under the hood, the crowd engagement score, or the CES. So there's positive events, there's negative events. And as you kind of build up positive events, it really gets the home crowd kind of riled up.
And the next feature I'm really excited for in NHL 24 is the new Creation Zone environment. Basically, this is where you are whenever you're creating your player, creating your team. And a cool feature they added this year is the ability to create 30 more teams, 1,500 more skaters, and 200 more goalies than previous years, so those custom rosters should be awesome. But next, guys, I'll have Pritchett tell you about some of the different customization options within that mode.
We've got over 150 new pieces of vanity gear that are animated, which need to kind of be seen to believe. And I think we've got 130 something pieces of vanity gear that aren't animated, but look super premium. We've got a new no tape stick option, which the fans have been asking for quite some time. And a lot of work has been done on the material tuning to make the sticks as authentic as possible. The metalness, the graphite, making them look exactly right. Another big one that the fans have been asking for a long time is you can now put a cage on any helmet whatsoever. We've got the full visor supported as well. And also the skin material, not just inside of Creation Zone, but inside of the game itself, looks better than it's ever looked before. It looks much more authentic. We spent a lot of time in the fine details of that skin shader to get it looking as authentic as possible.
And it has to be the most drastic change of presentation in this year's game, guys, is the new Flex Moments. No longer are you celebrating from your regular camera angle, but you're actually up close and personal now on your player. I'll have Pritchett tell you the thought process behind that change.
Previous years, we've allowed the user to celebrate, but it's always just been from the gameplay camera. So you're kind of just a few pixels celebrating on the screen. And if you look at, any images on Twitter, Instagram, whatever, of your favorite player celebrating, it's always like down low and up close, and you can kind of see the full body and the face. They're usually screaming kind of thing. We needed to capture that. So in offline modes like franchise and play now, the authentic modes, we have a selection of authentic celebrations that can be chosen, along with signature celebrations for certain players. And then inside of eChell, World of Chell, there's 75 new celebrations that are, some of them are pretty crazy, but one thing they all have in common is that they look awesome. Brand new camera, brand new lighting, and facial animation for every single one of them that is appropriate for the celebration.
And now with Flex Moments, the other big change of presentation this year has to be the new dynamic rink boards. Obviously some controversial opinions about those. I asked Pritchett how they're going to ensure that they're not distracting for players.
When you score, we got a special animation there, and we bring up the most relevant stat. So if it's a career milestone or if it's an in-game milestone like a hat trick or something like that, that's what we're going to showcase on the boards. And then in the World of Chell, there's this whole new kind of customization, player banners we call them, but they're graphics that you can kind of customize your character with, and they kind of take over the boards as well. It's very cool.
And now with all that new information being displayed on the boards, I asked Pritchett how that could potentially help players who play without audio, which I sometimes do, I'm not going to lie. Here's his thoughts.
So we've heard a lot about people obviously not playing with audio, and while audio is awesome and everyone should play with audio, we get it. There are people that don't want to play with audio. Instead of doing something like bring up an overlay or something like that, we just put it on the boards themselves. So if there's a delayed penalty, the empty net, so a goalie got pulled, those types of things we now just put up on the boards. And users, the great thing about it is users don't have to break focus. They don't have to take their eyes out of the game world and kind of look at an overlay or look up at the score clock. They can just kind of they see it already just from playing. They just kind of see it out of the corner of their eye, and it's a super effective way to kind of communicate information, and it's helpful whether you've got audio or not, but definitely for people that don't have audio, it's super helpful.
And now in regards to graphical improvements in NHL 24, there's now sweat exertion on players, which is very cool, as well as new facial animations. I asked Pritchett to tell us more about that feature, as well as whether or not it'll be available on all consoles.
All of the new heads, 22 new star heads, they're in all platforms, so Gen 4 and Gen 5, but the exertion is Gen 5 only. only this year, and it's a great feature. But what you'll see is the exertion, the player's face, they get more flushed, they get more sweaty, kind of as they're out there on the ice working. They get back to the bench, they take a little bit of break, kind of calms down a little bit, they jump back on, and starts all over again. So it's a very cool little detail to see, especially with some of the replays that we have that get kind of up close and personal with the players. But yes, Gen 5 only this year.
Now, if you guys haven't heard yet, there's actually a new color commentator in NHL 24. It's no longer Ray Ferraro, it's now Cheryl Pounder. And I asked Richard to explain what made her the perfect choice for that role.
Cheryl kind of came in at this last second, auditioned for us, and it was like, oh, she's meant to be working on this game.
It's incredible. You can tell that they are moving and shaking. They're getting the puck going north. They're transitioning so fast. And man, do they have their opponent on their heels. A goaltender, they have to have talent, they have to have mobility, they have to be able to track the puck, but they have to have a willingness to find it and fight for any second shot, and that's exactly what happens here. Out-battling, out-willing, and you make the save.
And now, in addition to the new color commentary, guys, there's actually authentic tracks being used as part of the new face-off moments, and here you can hear Pritchett talk more about that.
Face-off moments are pretty awesome. We're bringing authentic music back into the back end of the game, or the actual game itself. What we're really going for is authentic emotion, so we needed those authentic tracks, and we got some classic tracks like Darude Sandstorm, we got Tsunami by Dubs, Fits in the Tantrum, Hand Clap, and of course we've got Cha Cha Slide as well, which everyone's going to recognize. Cool thing about those last two are that there's crowd participation.
Now, my favorite presentation feature in NHL 23 had to be the on-ice projection, so I asked Pritchett whether or not we'd be getting any new unique ones for different teams in NHL 24. Here's what Pritchett had to say.
We reached out to the teams that we didn't have an authentic on-ice projection for. So we've got Washington properly represented, we've got Montreal properly represented, we have the Seattle Kraken, which looks absolutely sick inside of the game, plus others as well. But yes, definitely an effort was made there to try to get away from some of those generic on-ice projections that we have for some of the teams and get as authentic as possible.
And now finally here, guys, this is a big one for franchise guys like me. I asked whether or not the offline replays were returning to NHL 24. Here's your answer.
Yeah, so this year we brought back the full replays for all offline modes, Franchise, Be a Pro, and Play Now, and the others. So regardless of whether you're AI or a human-controlled team, you're going to get all of the goal replays. We also brought back the true broadcast camera. Consumers demanded that we bring that one back, so now we have two distinct true broadcast cameras in the game.
And that does it for the NHL 24 presentation deep dive. We'll let you guys' thoughts in the comment section below. And don't forget to click the link in the description to pre-order NHL 24. Thank you guys for watching. Goodbye.
Im ersten Punkt geht es um die Hype-Moments. Man hört die Fans rufen, Go, Canucks, Go. Ist bei den Nordamerikanern immer recht einfach, da ist eigentlich immer Go, Teamname Go ist so der Fanschrei mehr oder weniger. Zumindest eine Erneuerung gab es die letzten Jahre nicht mal, die Fans kaum realisiert. Ab und zu haben sie mal geboot. Auch das, denke ich mal, wird noch ein bisschen weiter ausgebaut. Auf jeden Fall klasse Verbesserung. Dann wurde die Creation Zone verbessert. Das heißt, man kann jetzt mehr Teams erstellen, mehr Goalies erstellen, mehr Spieler erstellen. Zum ersten Mal überhaupt gibt es animierte Ausrüstung. Es ist jetzt auch möglich, beim Schläger kein Tape auszuwählen. Dann ist es jetzt möglich, jeden Helm mit einem Gitter zu versehen und auch das gute alte Fischglas feiert seine Rückkehr. Das hier, das Aquarium. Dann kommen die Flex Moments dazu. Bisher war es ja so, man hatte Tor geschossen, die Kamera ist die gleich geblieben, man hat 3 bzw. 4 Tasten plus hinrichten, also 5 Tasten gehabt, um den Jubel zu machen, aber die Kameraansicht ist gleich geblieben. Da wechselt jetzt die Kamera mehr nach unten, man sieht den Spieler frontal. Es gibt in den Offline-Modi jetzt verschiedene Jubel, die man dann wählen kann, und manche haben ihre Signature-Moves, wie Ovechkin zum Beispiel, oder Patrick Kane, denke ich mal, auch wird dazu kommen, haben ihre originalen Jubels. Und von den eigenen Skater und World of Shell gibt es dann eine neue Auswahlmöglichkeit an die verschiedenen Jubeln. Kein Ton, kein Problem. Betrifft mich mehr oder weniger auch. Ich habe oft meine Konsole, gerade wenn ich Offline-Spiele mache, habe ich die komplett lautlos. Ich sehe gar nicht manchmal, wenn das Strafe ist, und auch online passiert mir das ab und zu, ich dann noch aufs Tor schieße, weil ich einfach den Ton nicht gehört habe oder das Tor nicht gehört habe. Da gibt es auch eine Neuerung, und zwar sieht man in den Banden ringsrum, was passiert ist. Sieht man hier zum Beispiel ganz gut, an der Bande steht, Chris Kreider kriegt 2 Minuten wegen Beinstellen. Auch wenn das Tor leer ist, das Empty Net, wird es angezeigt. Und so Sachen wie Schüsse aufs Tor von beiden Teams, die gewonnenen Bullies wird ja auch angezeigt. Man muss nicht den Fokus vom Bildschirm weglegen oder wegnehmen, weil man es ja eh mitten, mehr oder weniger mitten im Bild präsentiert kriegt. Gleiches gilt natürlich auch für das Full-Pressure-System. Wenn der euer Balken voll ist, dann wird die Bande rot. Schweiß und Anstrengung sowie neue Gesichtsanimationen auch verfügbar. Der Schweiß allerdings nur für die Next-Gen-Konsolen. Hier bei Donald Larkin ganz gut zu sehen, das Gesicht ist rot, er hat sich angestrengt und dann, wenn er wieder auf die Bank geht, zum Wechseln fährt und wieder zurückkommt, ist es wieder ganz normal. Dann haben wir mit Cheryl Pounder eine neue Ansagerstimme, eine neue Kommentatorin im Spiel. Ray Ferraro ist damit Geschichte. Für die Face-Off-Moments wurden sowohl Logos generiert, die dann auf dem Face-Off-Bully-Punkten sich drehen oder einschweben, davonschweben. Und es sind auch originale Lieder eingefügt worden, so wie es in der echten NHL auch ist, auch richtig lizenzierte Musik dazu. Neue On-Ice-Projektionen. Wurde letztes Jahr groß angekündigt, am Anfang war gar nichts dran und es sind ein paar Teams nachgezogen. Jetzt haben sie sich mit allen Teams zusammengesetzt und haben weitere Teams hinzugefügt. Ob das alle sind, weiß ich nicht. Sollte aber zumindest alle NHL-Teams abdecken. Und der letzte Punkt, der hier angesprochen wird, sind die Offline-Replays. Also in den Offline-Modi kommen dann wieder die Replays, wie es vorher schon mal war. Ja, und damit sind wir am Ende vom Presentation Deep Dive angekommen. Ich hoffe, ich habe euch ein bisschen Einblick verschafft, was da alles gesprochen oder was da passiert. Die Neuerungen finde ich alle positiv, alles gut, solange halt der Rest außenrum auch passt. Ich meine, es ist schön, dass es alles projiziert ist, aber wie gesagt, wenn das Spiel Mist ist, dann hilft mir die ganze Präsentation nichts. Also bin ich auf jeden Fall positiv gestimmt, dass es was wird, von dem her wieder einschalten, immer dran denken, sauber bleiben. So schaut's aus. Ciao.
I just need to numb the pain.